of the world, whether in the east or the west. আমি আমার বক্তব্যের শুরুতেই বাংলাদেশ বিশ্ব ফিল্মে যে কন্ট্রিবিউশন রেখেছে সে সম্বন্ধে একটু বলতে চাই, একটু ধৈর্য ধরে শুনবেন আশা করি, কারণ আমার টিম এটা বেশ গবেষণা করে তৈরি করেছে, কিছু তথ্য আছে এখানে। The first silent motion picture of the world, and don't hold me responsible for mispronouncing it because it's in French. Ronde Garden Song was filmed for only 1.66 seconds in 1888, right, by French Louis Le Prince in the United Kingdom. You may be surprised to know that just after 10 years of its release, We the People of Undivided Bengal also filmed the first silent motion picture, Dancing Scenes from the Flower of Persia, in 1898. Our friend Zohra Zamani can take note of that and do her own homework on this. It was by Hiralal Sen, who hailed from Manikganj. Just around about 60 kilometers where we are from here, north. He's a pioneer of the film industry in the subcontinent, and I'll tell you how. He went to collegiate school, which is in Shodorghat, the river, the land port, the river port. He went to collegiate school in 1879, and he came up with this film after 9 years of completing the school. The school as I said, not only Hiralal Sen, but the school also boasts of some other famous student filmmakers. Khan Atar Rahman, আমরা সকলেই জানি মুক্তিযুদ্ধের অনেক ছবি উনি করেছিলেন, শিবলি সাদিক, ফিজিসিস্ট স্যার জগদীশ চন্দ্র বোস, মেঘনাথ সাহা, প্লেরাইট মুনির চৌধুরী, ন্যাশনাল এডুকেশনিস্ট কবির চৌধুরী, আমরা সকলেই এনাদের নাম জানি, এরা সবাই কলেজ স্কুলে শিখছে। রাইটার বুদ্ধদেব বোস, পোয়েট সৈয়দ শামসুল হক, আর্টিস্ট মোস্তফা মনোয়ার and ফেমাস অ্যাক্টর বুলবুল আহমেদ যিনি প্রয়াত হয়েছেন, তারা সবাই কিন্তু এই কলেজিয়েট স্কুল থেকে পাশ করেছিলেন এবং বাংলাদেশের ফিল্মে খুব বড় ভূমিকা রেখেছিলেন। However, let me get back to what I was saying about Hiralal Sen. After he had completed his studies, he left Dhaka to get admitted in Kolkata College. In 1898, a film, Topwen Road to Paris, screened a short film by Professor Stevenson along with the stage show The Flower of Persia at the Star Theatre in Kolkata. যে মুভিটার কথা বললাম, প্রথম মুভি, সেটা স্টার থিয়েটারে দেখানো হয়েছিল কলকাতায় যখন আনডিভাইডেড বেঙ্গল ছিল, এবং অবশ্যই হিরালাল সেনের কন্ট্রিবিউশনটা বললাম। Mr. Sen got impressed with the show and contacted Stevenson with a wish to make a film, and he did it. Sen made his first film, Dancing Scenes from the Flower of Persia, in 1898, borrowing Stevenson's camera. So, that's the cooperation, that one country and the one artist or producer, or rather director, helping the other to come up with their first film in that particular country. The motion picture was based on scenes from the Flower of Persia, and was shown at Star with Stevenson's package in repeated shows that year. Their joint venture didn't last long due to commercial interest. Then, with assistance from his brother Motilal Sen, he bought an urban bioscope from London. It's interesting. Hiralal Sener ভাই মতিলাল সেন লন্ডন থেকে একটা বায়োস্কোপের ব্যবস্থা করেন, এবং পরের বছরগুলিতে he formed the Royal Bioscope Company. The company then screened motion picture commonly known as bioscope, যেটা ছোটবেলায় আমরা অনেকে আসলে দেখেছি, আমারও মনে আছে, আমিও নিজেও বায়োস্কোপ দেখেছি, মন্ত্রী মহোদয় তো অবশ্যই দেখেছেন এবং খালিদ ভাইও দেখেছেন নিশ্চয়ই। The company then screened motion pictures commonly known as bioscope in Bhola, at the place of King of Bhawal State, যেটা গাজীপুরে, এবং জগন্নাথ কলেজ, যেটা এখন জগন্নাথ ইউনিভার্সিটি নামে পরিচিত। The bioscope, the first ever when the screen, the audio was played by another device and the video, and it was a hell of a task to match the motions with the sound and the background. But the Hiralal Sener ভাই মতিলাল সেন এটা প্রথম নিয়ে এসেছিলেন। Since the inception of the company, the film industry in the undivided Bengal evolved gradually at a very quicker pace, rather faster pace. After the first ever full-length silent feature film, Raja Harishchandra by Dada Saheb Phalke. Now, এই নামটা আপনাদের সকলের পরিচিত হবে এবং বিক্রম ধীরাজ স্বামীর কাছে অনেক বেশি পরিচিত হবে। The father of Indian cinema in 1913. The first full-length silent film with the Bengali intertitles Bilwa Mangal. 1921, another film, Bilat Ferot. I mean, when someone come back from London, it is quite customary for the rich and famous to study and send their kids to London in those days. And once they are back, he or she becomes a center of attraction in a town or city, in undivided Bengal or even India. So when they come back, we used to call them Bilat Ferot. Bilat is a Bangla expression for United Kingdom. Co-directed, this is the name of the film, Bilat Ferot, co-directed by Dhirendranath Ganguly, was a great success. Mr. Ganguly was also active in the film, and he is from Borishal district of Bangladesh. The reason I told you all these stories, just to make sure that you know our engagement, our Bengal's engagement in promoting film in the world, and of course in the Indian subcontinent. The first ever silent short film, Shukumari, the Good Girl, Shukumari, Good Girl, was released in Bangladesh. There's a bit of a debate on that in 1926 or 1929. It was directed by Ambuj Gupta. Later he also directed the first full-length silent film, The Last Kiss or Shesh Chumbon. Distinguished guests, enough with the kind of old stories, but let me come back to kind of more of Bengal's own. Let me turn to the full-length talkie film after the silent era. We were not far behind there too. The first Bengali talkie, Jamai Shoshti. In English, Jamai is son-in-law and Shoshti is day. So Jamai Shoshti, the son-in-law's day, directed by Amar Chaudhary, was released in 1931. However, we had to wait a bit long for the first full-length Bengali talkie in Bangladesh due to the aftermath of the partition of the subcontinent in 1947 and thereafter the language movement in 1952. It was in 1956 when the first full-length Bengali talkie film, Mukh o Mukhosh, The Face and the Mask, and you can kind of figure out from the name itself, the title itself, The Face and the Mask. In Bengali, it's Mukh o Mukhosh, was released in Bangladesh, and of course elsewhere, where East Pakistan used to be known as in pre-liberation days. The filmmaker was Abdul Jabbar Khan. Now I feel proud to state that our father of the nation, and we are celebrating the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was behind their success. The ruling Muslim League lost the election to United Front in 1954. Bangabandhu, popularly known, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the then General Secretary of Awami League, was elected the East Bengal Legislative Assembly on a United Front coalition ticket, and that was Fatima Jinnah's led party, and became the Minister of Commerce and Industry of the provincial government. Bangabandhu পাকিস্তান আমলে যুক্ত ফ্রন্টের নির্বাচনের কথা আমরা জানি 1954 সালে সেই নির্বাচনে বিজয়ী হওয়ার পরে ইস্ট বেঙ্গল লেজিসলেটিভ অ্যাসেম্বলির সদস্য হন এবং পরবর্তীতে বাণিজ্য এবং শিল্প মন্ত্রণালয়ের দায়িত্ব পান। And filmmaker Abdul Jabbar Khan, director of Provincial Film Department, Nazir Ahmed, and other made Bangabandhu with a request to establish permanent film studio in Dhaka. Bangabandhu asked them for a proposal and thereafter instructed to prepare a draft bill for a film development corp. Evolved through ups and downs over the years and times and centuries. Bangladesh is not an exception too. Bangladesh film industry is advancing crisscrossed by successes and unfortunately failures. Our government is always committed to ensuring a healthy and positive film culture in Bangladesh. The Rainbow Film Society, with the motto, better film, better audience and better society, is thus assisting us in the venture arranging the annual International Film Festival regularly since 1992. Being the chief patron of the festival, I feel much grateful to the society led by Ahmed Mustafa Jamal Shogun. So I would be expecting a big round of applause from all of you to encourage Shogun and his team. Thank you. This is the 20th Dhaka International Film Festival. This year, 225 films will be screened from 70 countries. The screening will be held at here, Bangladesh National Museum Auditorium, Stars Cineplex, Bangladesh Shilpokala Academy, Central Public Library Auditorium, and Alliance Crossings, and for the first time ever, also be using the virtual platform for the shows. My sincere thanks and gratitude for the Rainbow Film Society for their sincere efforts to continue the festival even in the midst of the panic of the COVID pandemic. This is an absolute commitment to the film culture. So I extend my gratitude to all the visiting, touring, traveling guests that you have taken risk and all the trouble to travel from faraway land and accept our hospitality. Ladies and gentlemen, every movie is set and developed in a particular culture. Movies are an integral part of our society. They mirror what we believe and how we coexist as people. It is easier to see our concerns, attitude, flaws and strengths in the film than it is to decipher them from our daily interactions. When our prevalent beliefs and ideologies are challenged in films, we are sometimes able to interrogate ourselves and embrace changes. Therefore, I believe that the festival will solidify our socio-cultural fabrics and thus galvanize our beliefs.
And the festival will showcase creations of some of the best contemporary filmmakers. Personally, I am quite fond of this annual film festival. Rainbow Film Society has been doing an excellent job for the past 20 years and kept Dhaka focused in the cultural arena of the world. I appreciate the work of Rainbow Film Society, which has dedicated itself to the promotion of a healthy sign culture in Bangladesh, as I understand, since 1977. It is indeed one of the most active film entities in the film society movement of Bangladesh. The youth of today's Bangladesh are quite familiar with Rainbow Film Society. I firmly believe that its annual festivals have been significant in shaping the youth minds towards accepting diversity, globalization, and liberalism. Movies and films play an important role in the development of a generation. And many of the films are very educative and they leave a lasting impression in the minds of the individuals. The Dhaka International Film Festival has been one of the most prestigious film events in Bangladesh and contributing immensely in shaping an increasingly healthy and positive national film culture. Furthermore, Dhaka International Film Festival has also created a space for young and aspiring filmmakers in Bangladesh and beyond to connect with global artistic trends. Ladies and gentlemen, since my childhood, I have been an ardent movie lover, and I still crave for good movies. I still remember movies like Roman Holiday, Wizard of Oz, Ballad of a Soldier, Tale of Two Cities, Trains Are Flying, Victor Jibali, Sleepless in Seattle, Spartacus, Kimba, in Bengal, পথের পাঁচালী, হাসপাতাল, দ্বীপ জলে যায়, হারানো সুর, হীরক রাজার দেশ, গোপী ডাইন বাগাবাইন, দত্তা, কিংবা মোগলে আজম, or Ocean Sanket, to name a few. Those films have left a lasting impact in the life and living of individuals, including me. Despite that, currently my work does not allow me these days to dive into movies, and I have plans to see at least one or two movies which will be screened in the coming days in this film festival. I had the privilege to watch a couple of them 2 years ago. I hope to do same this year too. I gladly declare that the auditorium of our Foreign Service Academy will screen some movies from tomorrow as an integral part of this festival. My colleague, Shahriar Alam, the State Minister for Foreign Affairs, is the chief patron of this festival. We will have films in our Foreign Service Academy. And may I, on behalf of the Ministry and on my colleagues' behalf, invite you all to watch as many movies as you can in all the venues, including the Foreign Service Academy in Beirut. I wish the 20th Dhaka International Film Festival a resounding success. Joy Bangla,
জয় বঙ্গবন্ধু।
Switch to English at this point of time. For a change, I was actually prepared to make my speech entirely in Bangla today. I wanted to congratulate the organizers of the Rainbow Film Festival, which has been in place since 1977 and has established itself on the film map of the world for this landmark event. Thank you in particular to our friend Ahmed Mustafa Jamal for all his efforts to bring this festival to Dhaka, especially in the last 2 years, braving the COVID pandemic. I also want to specifically thank our State Minister for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Mr. Shahriar Alam, for all his support for the film festival, and of course all the other members of the executive committee. Jamal Bhai and others in the film committee here clearly understand two important facts. The first, that as Jean-Luc Godard said, cinema is the truth in 24 frames a second. The second, in South Asia, cricket, politics and film are the staples of everyday life. They are inseparable from our culture, our habit and our practice in the modern age. Promotion of good cinema and dialogue between our artists in South Asia and beyond in the world is therefore an essential part of cultural growth. This is especially so that we can ensure that this becomes a dialogue that is open and made available to the people to hear the voices and see the images and stories from across the world. The Dhaka International Film Festival has become Dhaka's window to the world and a window by which the world of cinema comes to Dhaka. A special thank you, therefore, to the organizers of the film festival for bringing 34 Indian films and over 30 artists from the world of India's film industry to Dhaka for this film festival. To my compatriots, I welcome you to Bangladesh, where audiences are as discerning as those of the major film festivals. This is only fitting because Bangladeshi cinema is growing in leaps and bounds as it takes the story of Bangladesh and its unique and deep-rooted culture to the world. In fact, as friends here know, Bangladesh has just celebrated international success through films such as Rehana Mariam Noor. Another example of such success was at the International Film Festival of India at Goa last year, where Bangladesh was the focus country, both in recognition of exciting new talent emerging from Bangladesh and also in commemoration of the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh's liberation. Indeed, the Bangladeshi film Payer Tole Mati Nai was also a leading contender for the Golden Peacock Award of the International Film Festival of India. All of this is excellent because, as in sport, film industry develops and grows through global exposure. In this context, permit me to flag here that I hope authorities will soon consider our standing request to permit the commercial screening of Indian films in theatres in Bangladesh. The great filmmaker Denis Villeneuve said, "Cinema is an art form that is designed to go across borders." Given the similar and yet complementary artistic sensibilities that we share, and the long history of cooperation between Indian and Bangladeshi artists, filmmakers and even music industry, allowing more film releases on a commercial basis will help develop both the Indian and the Bangladeshi film industry from the artistic standpoint as well as through the increased inflow of investment in the sector. That would help in all sectors ranging from theatres to theatre infrastructure to financing. Indeed, as we speak, a special joint production, a biopic on the life and times of Bangabandhu, directed by the celebrated filmmaker Shyam Benegal, is close to completion. This will be a production not just for the Indian and the Bangladeshi markets, but also for the world. I am sure that in coming months, just as our people visit each other's countries in the millions, our films should also start visiting each other's theatres. In saying this, let me reiterate that we are ready to partner all aspects of the film industry in Bangladesh, including through capacity building, in support for everything from script writing to editing to special effects and cinematography. Let me conclude here by reiterating that, as the celebrated Indian filmmaker Anurag Kashyap has said, cinema is about much more than heroes and villains. That, of course, is the impression you might get if you watch masala movies. But Anurag Kashyap is correct because it is fundamentally all about storytelling. As audiences, we look forward to being enthralled, entertained, educated, and even challenged to think over the next 8 days. Thank you once again for the organizers of this festival. I wish you a successful event, and I wish audiences